What is up, everybody? Digital Gate Studios. I'm Jacob, and today I am joined by Jesse.
Go again. Here we go.
So what we're talking about today is going to be Examon. This is coming out of EX3 with some couple new cards, a lot of updates to the meta. The deck's, I think, in a really good spot right now because it's got a decent matchup into Black War and into Grandis.
Yeah.
It's pretty playable into Mastamon. The only thing you got to worry about is Chaos Dag, which they're only going to be playing 2 or 3, hopefully. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to be playing 4 copies of EX3 Baby-Damon and 1 copy of BT-10 Baby-Damon.
Okay. 5 eggs.
Has to be 5. I've run out of eggs so many times in this. This is a slow control deck. It is not, let me take 4 hours to let you hit my security like security control would be. But it's this game's going to take a lot of turns because I'm going to be forcing you to kill your own bodies, going to be controlling your board and only getting 1 to 2 security a turn. So it really slows down the game. You have to run 5 eggs. I ran only 4 at this event. I got so much flack for this, and every round I was like, I need that 5th egg. Yeah. So back to 5. Never again. I learned my lesson.
Get that extra draw.
Yep. Gotta do it. All right. So we got Dracomons on Dracomons. Has to have Dracomons for this list, and I'll show you why in a moment. On play search. Great cards. Inheritable of when becoming suspended, gain 1,000 power. It just makes your stack so much bigger than your opponents ever expect if they haven't seen this before, especially game 1. They'll be like, oh, your guy's just a 15. You're like, but he gets +1 now. He's 16, 17, whatever. And I mean, the search is so good, you need to be able to find your pieces. So
they both digivolve for 0 off the Baby-Damon, right?
Yeah. 0 on top of Baby-Damon. That's why we're playing all Baby-Damons. This one has the same inheritable as the Draco. That's why that's the 4 of. This one's going to be the blue flare draw if they have 2 or more Digimon. Ideally, you're controlling their board better than that, but the draw power is decent. Most importantly, it's a Baby-Damon, so you can get the free on this Draco. So ignore that number 1 there. Then, really the only, I think, new card we got is another Dracomon. And this goes a lot further than you'd think.
Yeah.
So main effect, it's another 0 on top of Baby-Damon. They're already blue, so it's fine. Your turn when you play a Drummon or a blue flare, draw a card. As an inheritable, when you play a Drummon or a blue flare, gain a memory. This can actually make it a lot easier because this is my first go-to for digivolving and the raising because these ones have the search and this one is the best inheritable other than power because it makes it so much easier to get into your Examon. You have to play another body, right? It's a DNA digivolve.
Right.
So doing it for 1 less can make a big difference, or once you're already there, being able to gain a memory when you free play off the Examon. Really nice. And having an Examon, if you drop a Cordramon to make a blocker, it's going to cost you 4 instead of the normal.
There's also a Drummon, yeah.
Yep. All right. Getting into our champions. That's it for rookies. 12 Dracos. We have 4 copies of Cordramon Blue from EX3.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be evade, gives evade as an inheritable to anything in this deck, anything with Drummon. Excuse me. It goes on top of a Draco for only 2 instead of the 3, so you can ignore that. Before we got this Draco, we were playing Madoki Betamon, and there were so many times where this 3 Digivolve cost
Digivolve 4
just killed all of the momentum.
Yeah.
And so this new Draco is just huge. This used to be only a 3 of, but because of the Black War meta, you need evade. More evade. All the evade. Do not cut these.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's just also great death X bait. Just play it and just suspend it. They go for okay, delete lowest play costs, suspend this, and then they're not going to be able to kill it because you have such a big blocker stack with Examon.
Yeah.
Then to go with it, we have Cordramon Green as a 4 of. This one is blocker gives blocker. Same thing, Digivolves for 2 on top of a Draco. Not a lot to say in comparison. So now we're going to talk about another EX3 card. This is Paledramon.
Oh, okay.
This is not in the normal line, normal theme, but it's so good in this meta. I didn't play these before, but because of Black War, this when Digivolving is huge. And that's going to be when Digivolving, choose one of your opponent's sources and trash it.
Yeah.
Choose any source under any one Digimon.
I wonder which one you're gonna choose.
The one that either the one that trashes your security or the one that gives blocker if you're trying to go for game.
Yeah,
So
I think
many
more
good
often than not,
choices.
you're gonna
I
go
mean,
for that Metal Greymon X antibody and just
if they
pick it
can't
out of
trash
there.
your security and they don't want to attack your Examon, they're not gonna have a fun time.
Yeah, you can either pull that one out or the one that gives the protection too, which is really strong.
Yeah. Going after the protection. The only thing you can't choose is the X antibody because of its own effect, not being able to be trashed. But this card does so much work in that matchup, and even against Mastamon, saying, "Okay, you're losing all that blocker, you're losing all that retail, whatever."
Or that end of turn DNA Digivolve.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great one to pick because you'll see those random or Dean mons come out.
I hit it last night. Yep.
Only needs to be a 2 of. Oh, another thing. The inheritable for this is hilarious into Mastamon because it says if your opponent digivolves on a Digimon with no sources, raise the cost by 1.
Oh, okay.
This includes DNA digivolving if either thing doesn't have sources. So they're going to DNA their Mastamon that they made off of their, with Mirai, and it's actually going to cost them a memory. Could be relevant. Maybe it's not.
But it helps, right?
Yeah, it helps. So this used to be the security core Dramon that draws cards, but in this meta, the Pale Dramon goes a long way, but unfortunately, the card draw is missed. So pick your poison on that one. Getting into our level 5s, it's going to be 4 of Wing Dramon and 4 of Ground Dramon. If you know what these do, end of turn DNA, and they can be treated as level 6s for DNA because Examon requires 2 level 6s. Nice thing is if you build one stack, you can just hard play the other to pass turn, DNA them.
Do the big thing.
Most important thing with this deck is get to Examon.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what else you got.
Yeah.
Get Examon, make sure it has blocker and evade, and you're good to go for the game, typically.
Yeah.
So
the only thing you really have to worry about is probably what? Chaos Dag and Wyvern's Breath?
Megadeth. Wyverns is usually okay.
Oh, because you're over 15.
So you're a 15k printed. They go to Wyvern's Breath. You would die by state-based action. You trigger evade, and if you have the suspend gain 1,000 power, you now survive as a 1k.
Ooh, yeah.
So it's a really weird interaction. You're gonna have to call a judge to get a ruling because your opponent will not believe you.
Yeah.
But if you don't get the extra 1,000, you're still stuck as a 0 power and would die to state-based action.
Yeah.
So it's a really weird interaction, but Wyverns usually you don't care. It's Chaos Dag and Megadeth, and like digivolving to the Omni-X antibody, stuff like that.
But I feel like a lot of the blue players in this format took out Megadeth because they're running like Sore Eyes and stuff like that just for this format. Oh, no, it's super good.
I mean, with 2 level 5 to level 6 stacks, hard to get through all that just to Sore Eye.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, talking about level 6s. This is all we need for this. This is just 4 and 4. You just want to get here, play the other one, DNA them. Talking about 6s, we're playing 4 Slayer Dramons and 2 Break Dramon. This used to be a 4 and 3. I thought about doing 3 and 3 because I had to make room. But Slayer is absolutely fantastic in this meta because you are bigger than almost everything out there as Examon. And Black War, if you can make it attack and you block it and kill it, that's what you're going for, right? Slayer is what's getting you that for you. Yeah. Break Dramon is going to trash security, and that is fantastic, but ultimately not as needed. Because you're just going to, with Slayer, you're trying to control the board, slow down the game, keep theirs clear, and get that one attack at a time. And Break Dramon kind of helps accelerate that, give you that extra trash here and there, so you don't have to worry about security especially. But I think keeping their board empty 9 times out of 10 is better than that occasional trashing security.
Well, especially with something that like Black War, Grey War trashes security.
Right. I mean, Black War, if you can get them to attack before they can get into it, or stuff like that. So, all right, getting into the man himself, we're playing 4 copies of Examon.
Surprise, surprise.
Has to be, in my opinion, this is a 4 of state. I got a little bit of flack for this on the last video, because people think it's a 3. And if that is working for you, do it. However, for me, I want to get Examon turn 2 or 3 if possible, which I can semi-consistently get. Not always, because I'm playing 4. Yeah. And if they can de-digivolve it by just simply playing a Death X or, digivolving into that level 5 Metal Gray. Yeah. Anything like that.
Or Gaomon.
Yeah. Yeah, in this meta, there's a lot of DD. And if they de-digivolve you, you want to be able to make another Examon.
Yeah.
You want to be able to make a second one very as quickly as possible. Because this is the main boss, this is the monster. This guy dictates your opponent's actions. I mean, just being on the board is changing their entire outlook on this game if they know what your deck's doing. Their main priority once this hits is how do I get rid of this? And it's going to take them some memory, and it's going to take them some cards. You need to make them use those cards and that memory, and then you're just going to make a second one the second they do it. And they are going to be scratching their heads looking for a way to get rid of another one.
Yeah.
Another one. Until ultimately, ideally, the game's over because, they're running out of removal and you're getting through that security one check at a time. So I am really glad there's a 4 of. I am not going down. If it's working for you guys, that's 3. Let me know in the comments. I know last time around a lot of people did, and I love reading all that stuff. So let me know what you guys think. All right. Now, I feel kind of ashamed for this one.
Oh, yeah. I know.
49 plus 1.
Yeah.
Death X. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. I have lost to Death X in Imperial Dramon decks before.
Yep.
That I did not see coming. And it's always the turn you're like, at least he's not playing a Death X. They're like, boom, Death X.
Yeah.
I have gotten some games out of this. Sometimes it does kind of feel like a dead card, but I mean, there are times where you're just dropping a 15k for 0 in this meta against Crossheart.
Yeah.
And if it's not the turn they digivolved into their levels or into their Metal Gray X, they don't have de-digivolve protection in Black War. Yeah. Brandis has no de-digivolve protection. Just being able to de-digivolve alone is huge. Plus the removal it gives in conjunction with Examon, you're keeping boards clear all day. It's huge. Not a lot more to say about that. That's going to be it for our Digimon. Moving on to options. We're playing 2 Megadeth, blue and green requirements, but we're playing a lot of blues and a lot of greens.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to have trouble hitting that.
Oh, yeah. This is easy removal for a lot of stuff. Does not hit Black War, unfortunately, but any of the little dudes, anything else, I mean, Mastamon, bounce, spend, bounce to hand. Not a lot more to say about that. Now, another new addition, 2 copies of Sarai.
Yep.
This card is really good in the meta, once again, just like the Pale Dramon we talked about. This is strip 4 off the top from any one Digimon, then anything without sources can't attack till the end of their opponent's turn, and that is a blanket effect. Really nice for this. What is really nice about this is you're stripping from the top 4 sources. It means you are almost always getting, at a minimum, the Metal Gray that trashes security out of that deck, and oftentimes even like a blocker
or the one, the protection one. Yeah.
And I mean, in Mastamon, you're getting rid of their blockers, inheritable. You're getting so much value out of this card, and even stopping attacks. Only thing to be careful of is if they have Digimon that are frozen, don't try to force them to attack, because they get to choose what they attack with, and if they choose something that's locked down, it just fizzles, and you're wasting your ability.
Yeah.
So be wary of that. This is honestly mostly here just for source stripping and source control. But if you can lock down their board for a turn, that can go a long way, especially in a deck like this when you're trying to build into a new Examon or whatever the case may
also
be.
Worth noting, if they do hit that security with Black War Gray, you can use the Megadeth on your next turn.
Oh, absolutely, yep. And then we have 1 copy of Ice Walls, restricted for a reason, and this deck really would show you why. Talked about this before, but if you can give your opponent 1, all their Digimon gain 1 attack and lose 2 memory, then force them to attack, it's already back to your turn. And that alone makes this card a staple for this list. Plus just buying time, like I said with Sarai, sometimes the turn's all you need.
Yeah, the combo of that plus forcing them to attack and lose the memory is so cool.
I mean, I didn't even think about it until I had it in hand one time. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never looked back. Every chance I can give them 1 with this, I do it. If they don't have a memory setter,
it's a great pairing for sure.
Absolutely. Then 1 copy of our new Fancy Dancy, Hidden Potential Discovered.
Yep.
I did not used to play this. However, this has done me a lot of work in recent games. And honestly, the best part of it is getting your suspension trigger. Because this unsuspends, sure, this one suspends opponent's bodies. And this one here unsuspends itself and suspends a body. And it lets you get into bigger stacks for cheaper. So your Cordramon into a 5 for free, then playing, your other 5. Give them as little memory as possible to build an Examon. And Black War and Mastamon, you can't always not no matter what you do, they're going to have enough memory.
Yeah.
But preventing them from being able to do extra on top of that is going to go a long way. And I mean, Crossheart too, especially. They don't need a lot of memory once again, but every little bit they can do so much. This being able to save you a little bit of memory is going to go a long way. Then finishing off the deck list, only 3 copies of Davis, and that's going to be on play search for blue and a green. We got blues, we got greens.
You're probably grabbing 2 every time.
Yeah,
I pretty think consistently.
Yeah, whiffed search once, and almost 9 times out of not 9 times, but half the time you're getting 2 cards.
Yeah,
it's such a good, and it's a 3-setter. You need the memory, so you can control their memory. Because point of the deck, stick Examon, whatever it takes. And then from there on, give them as little memory as possible. Keep clearing their board. Get that 1 check at a time until you just win. This is, in my opinion, the best control deck outside of security control. It's still fun. It still takes setup. There's still little combos in it, and it can do a lot of good work, especially in this meta
right.
Let us know
what
a
deck,
comments.
Man! The big boss, the big royal knight.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. Any last words?
If you haven't tried the deck, give it a shot. You can go your own way on these ratios, but if you played it in EX3 and you liked it, here's kind of where I'm starting this format at. Like I said, I played this in a tournament. I've played this against Blackware a lot, and it's
against me a lot.
Yeah, it's in a good spot in this meta. Give it a shot. You won't be disappointed.
Sweet. All right. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.